Hey everybody, HG Shaves here, back with another video. No more mustache, thank goodness. We made it through that month of November, but glad to be mostly clean shaven again anyway. So today I'd like to focus on one of Barrister and Mann's newest soap offerings, and this is Nordost. I think that's how it's pronounced. This was just released maybe last week for Black Friday specifically. This is in the Excelsior base, one of Barrister and Mann's several bases that they have. To show you what it looks like in the container here. It's fairly firm. I mean, you can make an indent into it, but it's not creamy per se. To read you some of the important ingredients here, it's a tallow-based soap, of course. It's got coconut milk in it. It's got cocoa butter, shea butter, jojoba oil, stuff like that. And yeah, the scent on this, it's fairly strong, I would say, off of the puck. And it's really just orange, like a very sharp, fresh orange smell. And there is supposed to be a bit of smoke in there, but very, very slight to my nose. It is just mostly orange, but a very nice take on orange, and kind of reminds me of my childhood in South Florida, having fresh oranges all the time. This is my first time using the soap, and specifically first time using the Excelsior base, which is a little bit finicky to whip up a lather with from what I've read online and talked with people about. But the main consensus that seems to be out there about it is that you really need to properly hydrate it. So I'm gonna do my best to really pump a lot of water into this thing and see what happens. So to aid me today in my lathering process is this 26 millimeter Timberwolf synthetic knot. Wanted to use something that I was comfortable with when I was whipping up this lather here. So I'm gonna go ahead, wet my face, load the brush, and then go into a face lather. All right, so after loading for about 45 seconds, this is what we ended up with on the brush. Started with a damp to wet brush, and it's very sudsy and kind of foamy, but we'll see if this amount of soap is okay, if we're gonna have to go back to the tub. So again, this is my first time with it, so let's just go in and see how it goes here. All right, so definitely got plenty of soap on that brush. If you've watched my videos before, you know I usually go for a much thinner lather than this. So next time I'll load less soap into the brush, but I pumped a lot of water into this, and let's see if it's plenty for the Excelsior base here. Today I'm using the Timeless stainless steel 0.68 millimeter gap. So let's go into the first pass with the green. All right, opening thoughts here after that first pass. It's definitely a very slick base, and it's hard for me to tell how the protection is on these soaps really, like until I'm at the end of the shave. But protection seems to be good, and I'm trying using a shallower angle with this razor in particular. After talking to the previous owner, he was suggesting that I try not putting the handle out as far basically, and that does seem to be cutting better. So hopefully I can maintain that through these next couple passes here. So gonna load up for pass 2 here, and I'm gonna even add a touch more water, I think. So. All right, so we pumped even more water into this lather, and might have actually gotten it too runny in some spots. The issue with face lathering compared to bowl lathering is that it's harder to get it kind of consistent throughout your whole face area, whereas if you were doing it in a bowl, you could really mix it and it would be more even. But this feels even slicker now than it did before. And of course, slick is always the thing that you know, slickness is what you're going for, not necessarily volume. So hopefully thinning down this lather was actually a good thing. So here we go, second pass across the grain. All right, second pass done. Because this razor is mild, I do tend to go for third passes, so let me get lathered up for the final pass here. All right, final pass against the grain here, mostly. All right, last pass done. I'm gonna rinse and then talk about the aftershave splash. Okay, so the matching splash here is in the Delta space. So similar to Will's soap bases, he also has some splash bases. So to read you some important ingredients here, there's alcohol, of course, which makes it, you know, a true aftershave splash. It's got witch hazel, oat protein, calendula, seaweed extract, some basil leaf extract. So definitely better than your average splash in terms of skin food. I mean, it's a much longer list of ingredients than you know, something you would buy at a grocery store, certainly. So the scent on this is very similar to the soap. Gonna get a couple drops here, and let's see how it applies. Yeah, I think Will did a really good job matching the soap to the splash as closely as he could. You know, sometimes it's tough to get the liquid fragrance to smell the same as, you know, like a soap, just because the soap masks so much of it. But this is really, really close. Like, I can't tell any difference at all. There was a little bit of an alcohol kick at the beginning, but it really quickly subsided, and I felt like the witch hazel really kicked in. Yeah, my skin doesn't feel particularly dry at all. So nice aftershave splash there. I've been using the Zingari balm a lot recently, but trying to work back into splashes because why not? So to recap here, Nordost, if you like an orange scent, this is for you. If you don't, then probably not. That's the nice thing about it is it's a very straightforward scent. So I think you're either gonna like it or you're not, or maybe you're in the middle, right? But yeah, the Excelsior base, I could definitely see why it's a little tricky. It felt like I had enough water in it, maybe in the first pass, but then I might have put too much. I'm not really sure, but it definitely was not a disaster, as I would say. It was not a disaster lather at all. So I look forward to using this base more here in the coming weeks, and I'm trying to see if I can really figure it out. So for now, that's it. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.